Okay, so I'm working on the latest video, Who Died First. About halfway done. It's a 20-minute long video. It's a little bit bigger, but I'm also trying to edit it down and stuff. That's not that important. What is important for this video is I talk about font colors a little bit more, because I have a little bit of a rant about Midnight Motorist in the middle, because this is my channel, and Midnight Motorist randomly works its way into so many things I work on. And I kind of found this funny little series of connections you can make if you are a die-hard colors have to mean something fan. Because there are some people who argue the slightest color difference means it's a different character, and that then there's other people who argue the complete inverse, where it's like, oh, well, as long as it's mostly trying to convey the same color, it has to be the same character, right? But then you get stuff like this. So this is Michael's dialogue from FNaF 4. This is the dialogue people use to prove or claim that the couch person in Midnight Motorist is the person who's Mike. He's trying to claim Couch Potato is Mike because they both speak in gray, more or less. The difference being kind of that Mike is a main grayish color. He's kind of over down here-ish, maybe on the lower half. Whereas this is definitely an upper gray if you look at the two. Like, they're not that close. They're about 80 points off in each category. And there's some fun logic you can run with if this is close enough to count as being the same color. Mainly that Bite Victim, Glitch Fredbear, the final set of eyes that are in FNAF World, and Desk Person are all the same character by this logic, because they are all way closer than this is to this. Like, these two are way further off from each other than these characters are, and there's almost no argument to be made that these are all the same character. I mean, maybe you could, but, like, these three would be so weird, but these two literally have the same color, and I see no way to argue that Desk Person is the Bite Victim somehow. Especially since the Desk Person made Baby, which trying to argue the Bite Victim created Baby is a Herculean feat if people could achieve that. But the other way that's kind of funny with this is if we go the opposite direction, you get a ton of weird nonsense where a lot of these are supposed to be the same character and they all have different colors. So let's go down the list. So a lot of people point out that, oh, the different colors must mean they're different characters because in the final cutscene, a lot of people say it's the "I will put you back together" line is what's different. It's actually the entire cutscene in Night 6 is a different color than it is for the first 5 nights. It's actually not that far off. It's the final value that's screwed up. These are both like only a point off, but this is about 70 points off on the final value. But then you have stuff like, okay, so maybe Fredbear just speaks in this generic white color. That kind of translates to over here, but this is a different color. It's subtle, but these two are different colors. They're not... Now, these two are way closer than this. I'll concede that. But some people try to argue all three of these are the same character, and this jump is kind of ridiculous. But still, it's actually about the same range, I would argue, as this. Because, like, these two are spot on just for that last digit. This is about, like, more off across the board. So it gets really funky with, like, okay, what... Unless you're weighting an individual category as being more unique, it's really hard to argue these are all the same or different because of color similarities or differences. Because they're all kind of close, but they're also not that close. But what's funny about this is this text right here is closer to the generic white text used for most of the game than it is to Michael's text. And once again, if this is the level of similarity that like as long as it's within the ballpark of the color representation, then all of these characters are the same, which is the funniest part about this whole argument. Obviously, I do not stand by this logic. I very much believe that if the colors were meant to connect, I feel like Scott would be better at connecting colors than he is. I just think you can't put too much thought into the coloration as much as who's saying it and what the context is. And trying to claim someone saying it just because the color looks kind of like a prior appearance doesn't even really work. Cause like these are all kind of Fredbear, debatably these two, but like all of this is supposed to be Fredbear, and it's all a little off. I mean, people even point out in my Discord, and this is something I pointed out in one of my videos. Mike completely changes colors across the gameplay of FNAF 4. So this whole thing is kind of ridiculous. That's all. I don't really have much more to add.